I call this meeting to order. I would like to begin by taking roll call. Members, please confirm your attendance when I call your name. Jim Boscario. Valentina Bernoni. Here. Maria Ferraro.
Present.
Vince Marcotte. Christina Bursick, Manager of Planning and Development.
Here.
Ellen Burgess, Supervisor of Planning and Development.
Present.
And Ryan Tufts, Planning Technician and Secretary Treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment.
Here.
Thank you. Land Acknowledgement Statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is in the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation and the Three Fires Confederacy and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. The appeal notice. As a result of provincial changes to the Planning Act, only the applicant and select agencies may appeal a decision of the committee or one or more of the conditions which were imposed. Third-party appeals of consent and/or minor variances, such as neighbors and abutting property owners, are no longer allowed to be accepted by the OLT. All applications continue to be subject to a 20-day appeal period, and a written request to receive a copy of the decision and the fee for filing an appeal may be obtained from the Secretary Treasurer. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? Seeing none, so noted. Adoption of the minutes from the June 19 and July 17, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion? Moved by Valentina, seconded by Jim Boscario. All in favor? That's everyone. That is carried. Mr. Tufts, are there any requests for deferral or withdrawal of any application?
None received.
So noted. First application for consideration is B-08-2024, file 4186. The owner is Marguerite Marentet at 1175 Pope Street. A consent to create one lot addition. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application.
Okay, we have a consent application to create one lot addition on Pope Street. So the red portion is the area that will be added to the house at 1187 Pope. Next slide, please. Land is a designated residential district in the town's official plan, and it's zoned residential 1. Next slide. So again, the lot addition will be from 1175 Pope Street to 1187 Pope Street, so it's the red hatched area. The lot addition will increase the depth of the property at 1187, and it will give that resident a larger backyard. Next slide. So if the application is approved, we would have the following conditions. So we have added 2 conditions to the original ones that were in the staff report. So the first condition would be that a survey is obtained. The second would be that on the survey, the existing home is demonstrated to show zoning compliance. The third condition would be that the Secretary Treasurer is provided an undertaker from the applicant's solicitor that confirms that the severed portion has been consolidated with the abutting property. The fourth condition would be that the applicant obtain a deeming bylaw for the retained lands, and that all of the above conditions be fulfilled 2 years from today, so August 21st, 2026.
Jeff Fields, agent, you may now speak to the matter. Please, is he here online? Okay. Please introduce yourself in a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report. Thank you. Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
I'm Jeff Field. I'm applying to, I worked out a deal with my neighbor to purchase, as Ryan said, the property at the back of my lot. which is part of their lot. It's approximately 18 and a half feet. It's to their fence line. And like I've read all the applications, filled the application. I have a lawyer that we worked out a deal with the neighbor and agree with all the requirements that are needed for this application.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fields. You can turn off your mic just for a moment. Thank you. Is anyone present or online who'd like to speak to Mr. Fields? Does the committee have any questions for Mr. Fields? Does the committee have any questions for administration? Having heard all comments and concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? And is there a motion? Moved by Maria, seconded by Vince Marcotte. And all in favor? That whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it therefore resolved that application B-08-2024 file 4186 be approved. And that is carried. Thank you, Mr. Fields. Your application is approved. Thank you. Next is file number B-09-2024, file 4187. The owner is Rose Boreski, 2502 Front Road. Consent to create one lot addition. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application.
Okay, so we have another lot addition in front of you. So this time it's at 2502 Front Road, so that is the image at the top, the highlight in blue, and the land will be consolidated with the property at 2500 Front Road, which fronts on Front Road. Next slide, please. This land is also designated residential district in the town's official plan, and it's also zoned residential 1. Next slide. This lot addition will increase the depth of the existing home at 2500 Front Road. There is an existing dwelling at 2502 Front Road, that there is an existing access easement that runs the southern portion of the property at 2500 Front Road. That easement will be continued. It's showed as Part 2 on the draft survey that's been provided to us, and Part 1 is also the lot addition. So Part 2, again, is the continuation of the existing access easement. Next slide. If this application is approved, we would have the following conditions. So the first condition would be that they provide a survey. The second would be that they have they provide the Secretary Treasurer with an undertaking that the severed portion is consolidated, and that they also register the access easement on title, and they would have 2 years from today's date to fulfill those conditions.
Thank you, Ryan. Mike Towers, the agent. You may now speak to the matter. He's not here. Okay. Okay. Is there anyone online or anyone online who'd like to speak for or against the application? Or anyone present who'd like to speak to administration on this? No. Ryan, is there a recommendation you'd like to make then, if no one is in attendance?
Seeing as there's nobody online or in the audience, and that it is for a simple lot addition, we would be comfortable moving forward with this, but that would be up to you, Madam Chair, and the committee.
Thank you. And committee, having heard any comments or concerns that have been made by the agencies, public, and the committee, are ready to make a decision. And is there a motion? Oh, yes, Maria, I'm sorry. Yes, Maria.
Can I just get clarification? Who has ownership of the access easement? Is it the house in the front or the house in the back?
The current access easement is part of the property at 2500 Front Road. So the easement allows continued access for the resident at 2502. So the easement would be owned by 2500, but it gives access for the resident at 2502.
So 2,500 is responsible for road surfacing, snow removal of the new part as well as the old part. Is that correct?
Those would be part of the terms of the easement.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Ryan. So having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision, and is there a motion? Okay. Yes, moved by Jim, seconded by Valentina, and all in favor that whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it therefore resolved, the application B-09-2024, file 4187 be approved, and that is carried. The next. Yes. Yeah, yes, thank you, thank you. So date of the next meeting is September 18, 2024, and is there a motion to adjourn? And moved by Maria and seconded by Vince, and all in favor? And that is everyone, and that is carried. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.